The 10 Mahavidyas, also referred to as the Dasa Mahavidyas, are a group of revered Hindu goddesses that embody different aspects of the divine feminine energy. Each Mahavidya is considered a manifestation of the supreme goddess Adi Parashakti and is represented in a different manner to her devotees. Among the 10 Mahavidyas that are Maa Kali, Maa Tara, Maa Tripura Sundari or Maa Sodashi, Maa Matangi, Maa Kamala, Maa Bagalamukhi and Maa Chinnamashta. Maa Tara is considered a very important and powerful goddess in both the Hindu and the Buddhist communities. In today's video, let us understand 12 lesser known facts about the goddess Tara and her role as a multifaceted goddess. Before proceeding further, we first need to have a brief idea about the Daksha Yajna story that was conceived in the Mahabharata and was elaborated in the Puranas. According to the Matsya Purana and the Padma Purana, Daksha had a daughter named Sati who was the wife of Sadashiva, one of the forms of Shiva. Daksha did not like Shiva, he considered him inferior to the other gods, because of which, once when he had conducted a yajna, he had invited all the other gods except Shiva. This insulted Shiva, and he was on the verge of disseminating a world or in the verge of destroying the entire creation. But Sati, his wife, had made up his mind to go. This led to a tiffle, and the quarrel between the two went to such an extent that Shiva continuously told her that she could not go. The constant refusal of Shiva ultimately angered the Adi Shakti, and she developed her 10 forms, all of which obstructed the path of Shiva wherever he went. Shiva was confused and on seeing the 10 forms, and he asked them, "Who are you? And where is my wife Sati?" To which they replied, "We are all a part of Adi Shakti and we are all a part of your wife Sati." During this time, Maa Kali was standing in front of Shiva, Maa Tara was standing on his forehead, Maa Chinnamashta was on his right, Maa Bhuvaneshwari was on his left. Maa Dhumavati, Maa Kamala, Maa Matangi and Maa Sodashi had obstructed his southeast or Agniya direction, southwest or Nairupya direction, northwest or Vayu direction and northeast or Aishnava directions respectively. Now Maa Tara holds a very important position in the Buddhist, Jain and Hindu traditions respectively. The Buddhist traditions refer to Maa Tara as the Shakti or counterpart of Avalokiteshvara, the deity who keeps his eyes down in compassion. The Mahayana school of Buddhism refers to Maa Tara as the mother of Buddha and the Bodhisattvas. The Jain pantheons refer to Maa Tara as the Ishtadevis. Hemachandra, in his book called the Avidhana Sintamani, refers to Sutara as the Sasana Devta of the 9 Jain Suvidinata. Bhrukuti, a form of Tara, has been mentioned as the Ishtadevi of the 8th Jain Chandraprabha. But there is little evidence to suggest the appearance of goddess Tara before the 5th century in the Buddhist traditions. The Arya Manjushri Mulakalpa, that is probably the earliest Buddhist text describing the association of Maa Tara with Avalokiteshvara, has been written somewhere between the 5th and the 8th century. The Mahabharatas, the Upanishads and the Rig Vedas, on the other hand, mention the concept of Maa Tara along with her development much before the advent of the Buddhist texts. Iconographically, Maa Tara has 4 important representations. In her first form, she is represented as the Karuna or personification of Karuna of Avalokiteshvara. She is seated on his left in Paryankasana. She holds an Utpala or a blue lotus in one hand and the other hand is in Varadamudra. Some other images show her to be seated on the right of Avalokiteshvara. Instead of holding an Utpala, she is holding a lotus bud and her other hand is not in Varadamudra. The second form is that of Ashtamabhay Tara, where she is regarded as the savior from 8 great perils: shipwreck, conflagrations, enraged elephants, brigands, pouncing lions, serpents, prison, and demons. Usually, the Ashtamabhay form of Maa Tara shows her standing with a graceful posture on a double petal lotus. She holds the stalk of an Utpala in one hand and the other hand is in Varadamudra. The third form is that of Durguttarani Tara or Durga Uttarani Tara, the one who takes us across the difficulties of our life. This is the most iconic form of the goddess and it confirms to the features of Maa Tara seated in Lalitasana on a lotus pedestal with a calm expression. She has four hands in which she holds a pasa and ankusa in her upper left and right hand. With the lower left hand, she holds the stalk of an utpala, while the lower right hand is in Varadamudra. The pasa and the ankusa are regarded by many scholars as the weapons of Ma Durga, assuring her triumph over demons. But the Vishnu Dharmottara Purana denotes the pasa to be the bandhana from which she frees her devotees. Ankusa is the command subjugating all beings. Her bent right leg is a symbol that she is forever ready to get up and start helping her devotees. The fourth form is that of Vajratara. Now, according to the Sadhana Mala, Vajratara is the center of the circle of mothers and she has 10 deities in a mandala. The center is Vajratara. Surrounding her is the first circle who has the goddesses of Pushpatara, Dhupatara, Deepatara and Gandhatara. In the second mandala are the goddesses of Vajrankusi, Vajrapasi, Vajraspoti and Vajraghanta. In the upper region is goddess Usni Vijay, in the lower region is Sumbha. The 10 deities are regarded as Dasa Paramitasraya or the abode of 10 perfections. They originate from the 10 syllables of the Tara mantra, that is Om Tare Tu Tare Ture Swaha, meaning liberating from samsara. It is impossible to talk about Maa Tara without discussing her importance in Sri Kshetra. Now we all know that the Tara cult or worship of Maa Tara was evident in eastern part of India, as we all see from her main place of worship in Tarapeeth of West Bengal. But did you know she also occupies an important position in Jagannath temple of Puri or the Sri Kshetra. Now, the method of worship of Lord Jagannath is very different from that of other temples in North and South India. His puja or worship is well developed and systemized in a well designed process by coordinating the basics of Vedic, Tantric, Vaishnavite, and Puranic streams. In Tantric upasanas, yantra plays a very important role and represents the body of the deity. Without a yantra, it is not possible to initiate the puja in a proper manner. In Sri Kshetra, Lord Jagannath sits on Kali yantra, his elder brother Balabhadra sits on Tara yantra, and Ma Subhadra is seated on the Bhuvaneshwari yantra respectively. We have to understand that Mahavidya, who comprises of the 10 goddesses and is regarded as the nourisher and protector of the world, consists of 3 basic Shaktis with the 7 other Shaktis comprising the other basic principles of creating power. The 3 basic Shaktis are that of Mahavidya Kali, Mahavidya Tara and Mahavidya Sodashi, who represent the 3 aspects of Jnana, Ichha and Kriya in the world. Now, Ichha, Kriya and Jnana are 3 important aspects of Parashakti that is converted into Maya Shakti in order to generate the Prapancha or universe. In Ratna Singhasana or Ratna Bedi, that is the bed that houses the 3 deities of Jagannath or the seat that houses the deities of Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra, they are actually regarded as the Ichha Shakti, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti being reflected as Tara, Sodashi and Kali. Only Parashakti Sri Jagannath being veiled in Maya Shakti gets threefold and he gets the Prapancha or the universe. Upasana of the Dasa Mahavidyas is regarded as Upasana of Parashakti Jagannath, comprising of the 3 Mahavidyas, that is Kali, Tara and Sodashi, who alternatively are in the shape of Jagannath, Balabhadra and Subhadra. The Mahanirvana Tantra states that Ugra Tara Shulapani, Subhadra Bhuvaneshwari, Niladrav Tu Jagannath, Sakhyat Dakshana Kalika, meaning in Niladri, Balabhadra is represented as Ugratara, Subhadra is represented as Bhuvaneshwari, and Lord Jagannath is represented as Ma Dakshinakali. To highlight these identifications, the gods are always draped in saris of different colors and have nose ornaments made of flowers. It is noteworthy to mention that author of the book, the Indian Buddhist iconography, Dr. Benoitosh Bhattacharya, has referred to Maa Tara in her various forms as that of Janguli, Parnashavari, Mahachaina Tara, and Khadiravani in his book. According to Dr. Bhattacharya, the temple of Vajrayogini in Kathmandu, Nepal is actually that of Ma Ugratara that was brought there in 1350 AD by Bengali Buddhist priests during a Muslim invasion. It is also noteworthy to understand that Ma Vajrayogini was started being worshipped by the Hindus in the late 17th century, where she was and is still known as Ma Bhavani. Another scholar, Mr. M.K. Dhavalikar, has stated that Maa Tara has her origin in the Hindu tantric literature, though he admits that the later part of the tantric literature has a Buddhist imprint where Maa Tara is concerned. Now we have to understand that Mr. Shastri has previously explained that Maa Tara is a synonym of Goddess Durga and Goddess Lalita. In the Shastras and the Puranas, she is mentioned separately. Maa Tara is mentioned as an impressive goddess in the Lalita Pakhyana section of the Brahmananda Purana that itself was mentioned or that was written in 400 AD. In the Agni Purana, she is described as Tara Yogini. The sum total of various Hindu literature texts have mentioned that Maa Tara is a savior and she has been present for a long time in Hindu literature and tantric text. The Brahmananda Purana that was written in 400 AD proves that Maa Tara existed well before the 5th century and she occupied a prominent place in Hindu theology as a patron of the goddess who helped people cross the sea. Maa Tara's devotees mainly consisted of trading sailors, navigators, and boatmen related to the sea because the Puranas describe her as related to the water and water currents. There is also a very well accepted theory that since ancient times, Dhruvatara or the star, the guiding star, had been the guide of the sailors, boatmen, and people concerned with the sea voyages, making them name the goddess after the star or the goddess who guides people safely. Furthermore, Maa Tara's earliest images have been found in Western India as proved by her appearance in the caves of Ellora, Ajanta, and many other places, proving that she had a strong hold in the western and eastern part of the Indian sects of Hinduism. The aura of Maa Tara is such that tantric texts have regularly referred to her as a high yielding power and described her as a Shakti who ferries her devotees across the ocean of life. She is the one who protects her devotees against Daihika problems, that is, problems related to the body, Daivika problems, that is, problems related to destiny, and Bhautika problems, that is, problems related to worldly affairs. She is Brahma Sukti Tarankutri who liberates the distressed souls wandering in different yonis or life forms, passing through the circle of life and death. She also saves the humanity from radical or Ugra changes, because of which she is referred to as Ugratara. She is called Ekajata because she provides Kaivalya or unity with the Absolute. She is referred to as Neela Saraswati because she imparts wisdom or knowledge to her devotees. It is said that Vyasamuni could work or complete the 18 Mahapuranas only because of the grace of Maa Tara. It is actually Rishi Vasishtha who is regarded as the greatest devotee of Maa Tara. Let us understand his story. Both the Brahma Yamala and the Rudra Yamala contain a short account of the story of Rishi Vasishtha in reference to Maa Tara. It is said that Rishi Vasishtha practiced severe penances for a very long time in hopes of getting a glimpse or a darshan of Goddess Tara. But the goddess did not appear. Disheartened, he went to his father, Lord Brahma, and asked him to teach him a new mantra to which the goddess would respond. Lord Brahma asked him to continue with the same mantra while following the Yoga Marga of worshipping Lord Buddheshwari, as Goddess Tara was called then by a sect of the Atharva Veda. For 1000 years, Rishi Vashishta practiced the method as instructed by Lord Brahma, but the goddess did not appear. Frustrated beyond restraint, he cursed the goddess, which then caused her to tell him that he was not following the correct method of worshipping her. And in order to know the correct method, he had to go to Mahachina and meet the Vishnu avatara that was residing there in the form of Gautama Buddha and ask him what exactly was the method to worship her. When he went to Mahachina, on first glance he was disappointed to see Gautama Buddha observing non Vedic rituals of worshipping the goddess. Gautama Buddha sensed his dilemma and called him and explained to him the Kula Marga, that is, to worship from inner peace or worship with a stable state of mind in order to get what he was searching for. Through Gautama Buddha's persuasion, Lord Vashishta or Rishi Vashishta adopted the Sakta method of worshipping the goddess and was finally able to get a glimpse of her. As per the Swatantra Tantra, before proceeding to Banavasa, Ramachandra met Kulguru Vashishta to obtain his blessings. In turn, Kulguru Vashishta baptized and trained him into the Tara cult that ensured his safety throughout the Vanavasa. While the Brahma Yamala and the Rudra Yamala share a similar version of the meeting of Rishi Vashishta with Gautama Buddha, the Tarapet Mahatmya has a slightly different version to it. It is said that Rishi Vashishta, following the advice of Lord Brahma, did go to Mahachina to meet Lord Buddha. There he saw Lord Buddha surrounded by his disciples who were in a festive atmosphere. Vashishta was disappointed with what he saw and he was about to leave when Lord Buddha beckoned him to come. And when he turned back, Rishi Vashishta was amazed. Where there were festivities just a moment back, now the whole atmosphere was very tranquil and meditative. The disciples were in a very somber and calm position. They were wearing meditative clothing, and overall, the whole atmosphere was totally different from what he had just seen. Buddha instructed Rishi Vashishta to go 20 jojans east of Vaidyanath Dham, 4 jojans Ishan of Bakrishwar, Ishan meaning northeast, 4 jojans west of Janvi, that is Ganga Nadi, and just before the Dwarika river. And there, under a Shivli tree, he had to chant the mantra that he had given 3 lakh times in order to get a darshan of the goddess. Lord Buddha had also informed Rishi Vashishta that this is where the third eye of Sati or the Tara of Maa Sati had fallen, and this is where he was required to start doing his meditation. That is what Rishi Vashishta did, and that is when Ma paid him a darshan. This is where Rishi Vashishta established the foundation of the Tarapit temple. The story does not end here. A long time later, somewhere between 750 to 1097 AD, a merchant named Jayadatta from the village of Ratnagar used to set sail with his merchandise to North India through the Bhagirathi, through the Dwarika river. One time, when he was returning back with his only son Dhananjay, they had to anchor for the night near a forest land by the river. Unfortunately, his son got bitten by a snake there and collapsed on the lap of his father. Now, Jayadatta knew that the forest land was a tantric abode. What he did not know that the water also had magical powers, as they found out when the fish that they had got for dinner came back to life on being washed in the water. Jayadatta floated the body of his son Dhananjay on a banana leaf by the river, and the very next day his son regained consciousness. That night, mother came to him in a dream and said that it was she who had done this, who had saved the life of his son, and she asked him to initiate a proper worshipping center for her. It was Jayadatta who built the temple of Tarapit, and he brought a pujari or a worshipping priest from the Mahula village and started initiating the proper worshipping paddhatis for her. The day Jayadatta had introduced the worship of Maa Tara was the 14th day of the moonlit fortnight, preceded by the day of the Kojaguri Lakshmi Puja. That day is celebrated as the arrival festival of Mother Tara. The Jivit Kunda still stands there, and though it no longer transforms the dead into alive, it still has magical powers and devotees stay by it or they swear by its holiness to cure their illnesses and other problems. The sum total of archaeological evidences and a summary of religious texts have shown that Maa Tara is not just an important Buddhist and Hindu goddess, but she is also the saving knowledge that guides us against the ocean of sorrows. Time and life, that is Kala, are related to sound, that is a divine word, and that sound is that of Maa Tara. Maa Tara is the power of sound corresponding to Maa Kali, who is the power of time and transformation. Maa Kali and Maa Tara are often portrayed as one, even though they are slightly different from each other. Please watch my video on the difference between Maa Kali and Maa Tara, the link of which I have provided above, so that you can understand what I am trying to say in a better manner. Other than Maa Kali, Maa Tara also has a very important connection with the Kamarupa region, that is modern day Assam, and Kamakhya Devi, who resides on the Nilachal Parvata of Guwahati. Now, the Devi Bhagavata refers to the Kamakhya hills as a place that is very dear to the goddess. In the Rudra Yamala, God Brahma is said to have advised his son Rishi Vasishtha to retire to the Nilachal Parvata, that is the Kamakhya center, where he could worship or where he could conduct his worshippings to Maa Tara in a better manner. Maa Tara, or the Ekajata form of Maa Tara, and Maa Kamakhya are often regarded as war goddesses, where they merge as one in order to kill the demons Sumbha and Nisumbha. The Kamakhya temple on top of the Nilachal Parvata houses the main deities of Maa Kamakhya and the Dasa Mahavidyas, including that of Maa Kali, Maa Tara and Maa Sodashi, who are worshipped by the Parvatiya Gosais or the priests residing over there. Please watch my video on 33 facts about Maa Kamakhya, the link of which I have provided above, so you can have a better understanding of what I am trying to say in a better manner. Maa Tara has proved again and again that she is an elusive goddess whose siddhi is very difficult to attain. But once you attain her blessings, you can get through the darkest phases of your life, or you can overcome the most difficult of your hurdles in a very easy manner. Maa Tara remains the savior who guides her oceans, or who guides her disciples against the ocean of life, and who guides us against the ocean of sufferings and sorrow. If you liked my video, please like, share and subscribe to my channel. Thank you for watching.